also ready.
That's the spirit.
Come on, team. We can do it. Gonna record.
No, keep going. You have to finish it.
I can't get through it.
So you can't start.
Well, all right, guys. So it looks like it's a duo episode after all.
No, we can't run the episode.
I've cursed the episode. Now none of us can start.
We'll never know how your cheer went.
You know what? I think that's probably for the best.
Giblet. Good picture.
Thank you, no.
I'm paying attention to everything. Ha 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 ha.
That is a good Giblet picture.
It's not even that early in the morning.
It's
not been up for 8 hours.
I usually am up by now.
Same. I've usually be like at work for like a solid 3 hours by now. I just had a Monday off and decided to use that time to stay up till the ass crack of dawn with the boys and play Mario Kart.
Yeah, I went to bed at like 6 o'clock last night.
I couldn't imagine why.
And then woke up at like 2 a.m. But that's because I think, like, not even because of jet lag. It's because I've had like a sinus infection for the past like 3 weeks.
Jesus.
But nothing you can do about it.
I mean,
yeah.
There are things you can... Hold on.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, get like antibiotics from a doctor, I suppose.
Yeah, that is.
But that's a little outside of my like price point, being that I just took a trip.
That's fair.
So I've been drinking a lot of fluids.
That is a good thing to be doing.
Sometimes I think when I like eat, like you guys get like food stuck in your nose when you eat, or am I like, do I have something like critically wrong with me that I've never been able to address and no one has ever told me is off?
Wait. Food stuck in your nose, like
every time I eat anything small.
What?
Definitely not every time. So
I think I have like a deeply deviated septum or something.
Definitely not every time, but I definitely have to be careful with like mini wheats and shit like that, because I will get it like caught up in my sinuses.
I like ground beef is like the worst for me.
Wild. Yeah, no, definitely not that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I've been getting food in my sinuses all the time.
Yeah, that's probably a thing you should also see a doctor about, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Again,
never had that happen. Interesting.
That happened, like, it's been getting worse though. I think with sinus infection it just is worse because like your sinuses are just inflamed, so I think it's easier for stuff to find its way in there.
Yeah, the hole's bigger. Or something.
But if it's inflamed, wouldn't the hole be smaller?
I think it depends.
I don't know how the hole works.
I mean, I don't know, but I feel
like... What are you
like...
talking about?
I don't know, man.
You listen. If we knew everything we brought up on this fucking show, it would be a much better show. But we don't, and sometimes we just start saying things and not really knowing
Jamie,
where they're
can you
going.
look that up?
Yeah, we need Jamie.
Tap. No.
Jamie, look up what's wrong with my nose.
Jamie, how my nose doing?
What's the dog doing? Jamie, what's the dog doing?
Jamie, what is the dog doing?
Woof woof.
I don't think no one knows what the dog doing.
I don't know what the dog doing.
All right, so hello.
Did we want to clap?
Well, yeah, I guess. I gotta close my door again because the wind keeps blowing it open.
Damn.
It feels like almost like I don't know why that felt like almost a flex for some reason. I can't quite place why my first feeling was weird flex, but okay.
All right, you clap in 3, 2, 1. The other day, Giblet got stuck in the cat door.
Oh no, poor baby.
He pulled it off, and it was stuck on him.
Poor little baby.
Is he just too big for the door?
He's just like kind of fat, yeah.
Damn.
That's rough. Nobody wants to go to the cat doctor and be like, "You too fat for the door."
Literally couldn't get in the door.
A lot of people go to their cat doctor and say that.
Yeah, I feel like there's like a tipping point for like cats where they just become a comically fat cat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And when that happens,
not even close.
Yeah. Hopefully, if that happens, before that happens, ideally, but you address it so that your cat can live a little bit longer.
And I feel like the classic idea of a house cat, like if you go back to like a couple hundred years ago, I feel like they were fat as hell, right?
Yeah. I feel like at least in portrayal, yeah. Like
because I feel like they didn't have like a specialized formula cat food, so they're probably just getting like higher protein, like human scraps than they would normally be eating. So they're probably like really fat.
Especially as they get older.
Yeah. And I just feel like there's something about the temperament of a fat cat that is definitely different.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they wanted that. So I feel like they purposely made these cats fat back in the day.
I feel like even in the modern day, people like purposely make their cats fat. Like I feel like of all household pet, like of all the the two big, between cats and dogs, even
Fat
adding
cats
in,
are just different.
well, yeah, even adding in
They
things
hit different.
cats do be hitting different. Even adding in things like, like I don't know, ferrets and hamsters and whatnot. Like I feel like the one that you see that is most often wildly overweight is a cat. Like
And their personality, like their temperament changes when they get really fat.
they get so lazy.
Yeah.
They get pompous as hell as well.
Oh, yeah.
Cats are always a little pompous.
They are always a
if
little
I
pompous,
may.
but it is definitely different when you got fat cat action.
Yeah, when you got that fat cat action.
So I was out of the country for a while.
Oh yeah, welcome back, Jackson.
Yeah.
You
Welcome
did
back,
it. You
Jackson.
came back. You made it.
I guess my first question is,
somehow.
how were the flights?
I mean, they're fine. I just got one question.
Yep.
What's the deal with airplane food?
Oh my god.
Nice. Solid.
Have you guys ever eaten airplane food?
I have.
A couple of times.
Why like obviously it's such a trite statement at this point. Like what's the deal with airplane food is so tired.
It is in fact a bit in and of
But
itself.
they just be putting anything together on airplanes. And
Oh,
they're
they
like, this
really
is
do.
our food. Like it's not like a normal meal. And they never label it right. And it's never a normal combination of ingredients. One of the airplane meals, first of all, almost every single one of them had lima beans in a
What?
capacity that you wouldn't normally see them.
That's new to me.
One of them had lima beans in a lasagna. Wasn't that good?
Yeah, no, that sounds
Lasagna beans.
horrific.
I mean, it's not like disgustingly awful, but it's just not like,
Not the vibe.
it's just like, what's the deal? Like they're so right when they ask that question.
I wonder if there's a reason.
I mean, probably they just got them for cheap and they hold up well under the pressure, if I had to guess. One of the things I got, though, in one of my first airplane meals was macaroni salad with, like, big shells. Like, not full, like, stuffed shell, like, the size of your fist, but, like, way bigger shell pasta than you would normally see in a macaroni salad. Like, yeah. And on top of it was 2 pieces of smoked salmon. I have just sent a photo in the chat.
I don't think... Here's the thing. I don't think I could possibly trust plain fish.
It's smoked.
Yeah, smoked is fine. Smoked is safe.
I don't think it's any world in which I could trust trained fish.
Train
Plain
fish is so different.
I would eat
wouldn't.
trained fish.
Ironically, I'd be more okay with trained fish than plain fish.
And also, I also was recipient of this meal, which had like a weird piece of ham on top of a bunch of corn and again lima beans.
Oh,
I
that's
like
weird.
lima beans. I can't remember the last time I've actually had them.
Yeah, I don't mind them. I think they're pretty good. They just don't like they didn't work in what they were giving them to me with.
It was just
they
they just
also-
kept throwing stuff together.
They call meals on the planes like insane things. I was coming back from Tokyo and they were like, "Oh, do you want it was like the chicken and rice or the pasta with cheese?" And I was like, "You know what? Give me the pasta with cheese." Thinking it would be like a mac and cheese type thing. It was chicken pasta with red sauce and like Parmesan on top.
The fuck?
Yeah.
I was like, this is not like again, it wasn't bad, but I was like, that's just not
Not what you were
pasta
expecting.
with cheese. Like technically, yes. Here, I'm sending you a picture of what was labeled pasta with cheese. There was a bit of it. It was cheesier than normal,
Ooh, cheesy.
and it had lima beans in it, by the way.
God, of course it did. Yeah, that
Oh yeah, I see them. There they are.
that barely looks like cheese.
Mm-hmm.
It honestly, you know what that looks like? It looks like, you know what pasta looks like in the water if you like let it sit for like 5 hours because you got distracted and then that starch builds up?
I think it's because of it's got to be because of the pressure. Like it has to do something with the noodles.
It has to be.
But yeah, that's my airplane food bit. What is the deal? It's a good question because like, why did they put lima beans in my pasta with cheese and red sauce?
It really is a good question. I don't know.
They were just looking for anything to fill the space in your heart and in your stomach.
I mean, and I guess like you're at a high altitude. What's the deal with airplane food? It's like you gotta be high to eat it.
Thanks, Jackson. Thank you. I wasn't.
You gotta be high to enjoy it.
You know what? Yes, you do. In fact, it's got to be the only thing I can possibly think of is that it's got to be a height thing. That's all. Like I'm trying to like rack my brain why.
And the fact that they have to like have them all ready to go at like the same ish time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like it's just cafeteria food but worse, and you're trapped.
Yeah, it's all like microwaved and shit.
And you're trapped.
Yeah.
And there's no way out.
Yeah.
You must face the pasta with cheese alone.
The real pasta with cheese is the enemies you made along the way.
I did a lot of international stuff though. I did get delayed on my flight back, so I ended up missing a flight for the first time in my life.
Oh,
Gross.
Sucks.
No,
But it was just because like the delay, like the plane. It's funny because of all of the delays that have been happening in the U.S. And the problem I had was the plane just wasn't getting into Tokyo on time, and then they had like some mix-ups with like the gates, so it just took like 2.5 hours longer than it should have for the plane to actually get there.
Oh my God.
So then by the time I landed, I couldn't make my connecting flight.
no, that's infinitely frustrating.
So like first of all, my layover in Tokyo was like 22 hours already.
God.
And
I hate
had
long
like
layover.
yeah, and I had to pass through like customs, so I do have a stamp in my passport, but because like of the layover being kind of brief and like not being necessarily worth trying to go out and do anything because of the pandemic and it being late at night, I just kind of like hung out in the airport all day. But they made me to go through like customs, and they gave me a really hard time when they're like, "Where are you staying?" And I was like, "Well, I'm not staying." Like, "Why are you visiting Japan?" I'm like, "Well, I'm not actually visiting Japan. Like, you're making me come through customs. I'm happy to just stand in the airport for the next day."
And meanwhile, they're sitting here like, no, unacceptable answer.
They're like,
Explain.
why are you here? I'm like, well, I'm here because I have to leave.
Explain yourself, boy.
Yeah, they gave me like a hard time. And I was like, I don't know why you're being like giving me a hard time. You're the one who told me I had to like come through customs.
Yeah, that would piss me off. I'm not gonna lie to you. That would make me very annoyed with people and things.
Yeah, and then I just was in the airport for the day. It was all right.
It could be worse. You could have been not in the airport for the day.
That would have been better, actually.
It's fair. Actually, yeah, I said it. As soon as I said it, I'm like, that actually is the worst option, huh?
Although international airports are really cool.
Yeah, no, 100%. I've been in a few now, and every single one has always been a good time.
Mostly just because you can buy things. Because you can't buy things in American airports because it's $500. But
okay.
things aren't more expensive in foreign airports. Or at least not in Tokyo and in Taipei.
No, I can back this. Okay.
Like you can go to like a little stop and you can buy something for $1 that's normally $1 outside of the airport. So like a drink is the same price as it would be anywhere. And like food is the same price as it would be anywhere.
God, I love that. That's
Same with we went to the zoo in Taipei. And like the best thing about it is, first of all, the tickets for admission are $2 US.
Rad.
And then everything inside the zoo is like a normal price. So like vending machines, there's lots of them, and they have normally priced beverages. Like water is still like $1 inside the zoo.
That sounds so nice. I'm weirdly jealous of that.
No, it was like really cool. Like when I was in the Tokyo airport for all that time, I just kept going back to the vending machines and getting different drinks because they were like $1.50 each.
Yeah, because why not?
Whereas when I touched on the American airport, like I had to wait for a few hours when I was, trying to figure out how I was getting home. And I got like a Cliff Bar and a vitamin water, and it was $9.
Blech.
oh my God.
I got a full like udon dinner with a chicken cutlet bowl in Tokyo airport for $8.75.
Jesus.
Yeah. Cheaper than a Cliff Bar and a vitamin water in Newark.
Yeah,
I hate that,
Yeah.
but it sounds about right.
it feels correct. Not happy about it, but it does feel correct. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've ever bought like anything out of an airport that on my own dime. I've only ever put it on like the company card because, as you've pointed out, it is ridiculously expensive for no good reason.
Yeah. Not in other countries though. It's quite affordable.
Wild. What an
Because they want people to enjoy their lives.
and their trip and their visit and their time in general.
It's so
Imagine.
nice of them, honestly.
Imagine
Yeah,
wanting people
if I was
to
like
come to
a
your country.
foreigner, if I was a foreigner and I landed in America and was met with like a $17 appetizer at Applebee's, I would be like, this place sucks.
Yeah, no, honestly, without a second thought.
Would you I do wonder a little bit like, would you know, or would you be like, damn, I can't believe these Americans out here with all this money that they can spend this money at Applebee's?
I feel like you would know as soon as you left the airport and went anywhere.
That's true. That's true. I'm so sorry, you guys. I gotta step away for just a minute. I apologize. I'll be back in a moment.
Fat chance we're gonna stop without you. Oh,
That's
get
fine.
dumped on.
I'm gonna do a little so that you have a marker. I will just be back in a minute.
Me, when I'm going, he's probably going to Applebee's to get a $17 appetizer at the airport.
You mentioned it, and he's just like, damn.
It's like, I need to go spend $1 million at airport Applebee's and get a beer at 8 in the morning.
Airport Applebee's.
I don't mind being in airports though. I went to the McDonald's in the Tokyo airport as well, and it was a normal like $4 for breakfast.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
like, it's one of the things that's always confused me about airports, and I know it's exclusively because of the gouging, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they can, so they do.
Yeah. Which is obviously incredibly frustrating.
I think you mean based, but yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry, based. Incredibly based.
Thank you.
But like, I don't know, man. Like, why is it like that? Why be like that? Since I used to work at Chick-fil-A, I was reasonably familiar, you know, with their prices and everything, which they do change city to city. There is a certain amount of like, you can set your own prices shit that used to be a thing before they made the app. Because I remember when we were working there was a time when we were, you know, we got the word that it's time for a price markup, and we were sent a range of prices that we could select.
It's kind of cool,
right? But once the app came out, you know, everything got pretty homogenized at that point, which also just kind of makes sense if we're being honest. But I remember just like wondering when I went to the airport, how was it exactly that they could get away with having a sandwich that was like, I shit you not, $3 or $4 more?
Yeah.
And it's like, why are you doing that, man?
Because like if you're like a corporate inspector, how you getting in there?
Right?
No,
I
but
guess,
actually, they're just like, I'm not sure what about airports has let the entire country be like, you know what? It's okay to do this.
I think another issue is that at an airport place, you don't work at one location. A lot of the food places, you'll work at like all of them, and it just, you bounce around depending on where you're at, which ends up leading people to be like, no, that's why the airport food experience is always kind of like meh, because it's no one who's actually like becoming, you
don't have to explain it to me. I believe you that the airport food is meh.
Yeah.
You got me on that one. I'm like, you know what? He's got a point.
See, I was just trying to figure out a way to say, because no one is there to, God, what's the word I'm looking for? Holy shit. Oh, no one is working there consistently. No one gets great at the job. They're all just good at the job.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's like how good of an Applebee's employee can you be if you're also a Denny's worker? Am I right?
So true.
No loyalty.
I know I have no loyalty.
To Denny's?
To Denny's. I've only been to Denny's once in my life.
You know what? I actually don't know that I have been to Denny's before. I feel like when it comes down to it, I would pick IHOP usually, if there's an option. And we don't live in a Denny's area.
We really don't.
This isn't Denny's territory.
Yeah, I don't know, because we definitely don't have any Denny's here. IHOP is something that I'm neutral on. I've never been to a Waffle House.
Waffle House is pretty good.
Waffle House is one of those places that I feel like is, you know, it's one of those, the mystical land of Waffle House kind of vibes for me.
Yeah, and it gets like memed on by like a whole bunch of like 14-year-olds.
Yeah.
We're like, they'll fight anybody at Waffle House. I mean, no, maybe sometimes, but like, don't be weird about it.
Also, it's not like the Waffle House people are going to fight you first. I can promise, in fact, that they're you trying to fight them first, and they're just, it's the epitome of walk softly, carry a big stick culture.
Yeah, that's what it's like to work at Waffle House.
Mm-hmm.
You must be ever vigilant, but come in peace.
It's the only way that makes sense.
I don't want to get like too into the stories.
I don't want Dan to miss any of the actual like stories. So it's kind of why I'm riffing on a Waffle House right now.
Yeah.
But Jackson, you've been to all three. How would you rank your breakfast place experience?
I mean, obviously we're leaving a couple out.
Yeah. We can add in Cracker Barrel if you'd like to.
No, Cracker Barrel is all right.
Mm-hmm.
Cracker Barrel is okay when you want to go somewhere where like you are the youngest and nicest person in the building.
Every time I have been to Cracker Barrel, the food is fine and the vibes are absolutely rancid. Every single time.
Yeah, I will say though, sometimes the benefit of the Cracker Barrel vibes is you miss a lot of kids a lot of the time. There's not always a lot of kids in the Cracker Barrel.
That's really true, and I do love that.
Sometimes there are, but a lot of times it's more strictly old people. Like, this is our spot still. Grandkids don't come here with us all the time. Cracker Barrel means something. I do feel like old people will stand their ground at Cracker Barrel, and I respect that. I love IHOP, but sometimes you get like the loudest, shittiest kids eating the most food diet items on the planet.
Yeah, IHOP is very much a loud place. I'm sure Waffle House is also a loud place.
No,
Waffle House is not. No,
Waffle
Waffle
House
House
is
is
very
like
much
fairly
not.
low key.
because everyone there is either working class and like this is their meal, or like completely sloshed in one way or another and are trying to nurse it.
Waffle House
Actually,
is
that
just
makes
like
sense.
people. Yeah, it's just like people chilling,
For one
and like
reason,
the
that-
reputation for whatever reason is that everyone's always fighting, which like
I have never seen a Waffle House fight.
that's what I'm saying.
I have seen Waffle House roaches before though,
That's fair.
Fun.
which I won't lie, still very bad. Like,
I don't know. I'm not like one to get mad at like a food establishment if I see a cockroach.
I'm not gonna be mad at it per se, but I will not want to necessarily eat there any further.
Mm.
Like I'm not like out here. I'm not about to like report them for it, but I'm definitely not like coming back.
I guess my thoughts are like, what are they supposed to do? Get rid of all cockroaches forever? That's impossible.
Ideally, yeah, that would be cool actually.
They can't do that though. It's just a Waffle House, and they're probably tired as hell, and they probably don't know it's there.
That part I believe. Are cockroaches like an actual valuable are cockroaches like it's like low key like spiders where it's like actually they're very useful for like the local ecology.
I mean, the thing about insects is they all provide like a service to their niche.
Yeah, but sometimes their niche is real stinky.
Oh yeah. But the same with like the mosquitoes thing, where like if mosquitoes were all gone, nothing would change. Like things would change. There's a lot of biomass you're just erasing.
Yeah,
And whatever fills it might not be that pleasant.
yeah.
But like, yeah, I don't know. They probably fulfill a purpose.
I wonder if it's probably like waste reduction.
And
or
if not,
something.
who are we to say that things need to fulfill a purpose to exist?
Oh, I don't think it has to fulfill a purpose. I just want it to not be gross.
Oh, it's gross.
It's gonna be gross. I know.
You know,
I looked up
cockroaches in
what do
Taiwan.
cockroaches do, and it just says, "Oh, they hide during the day and become active at night." It's like that's not at all
Same,
what
fam.
I wanted to know.
That's allowed. Let them be.
I also
Cockroaches
hide
in
during the day.
Taiwan are like 5 times as big, and they fly.
Hate
Gross.
that.
Gonna be a big old noperino for me, dog.
And most restaurants are also open air.
I believe that.
It doesn't. The weather's much more temperate.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still looking up cockroach stuff.
What do they do?
And it just one of the people also ask drop downs is like, should you kill cockroaches? And it's like, that said, the best way to keep cockroaches and other insects out is to make your home as undesirable to them as possible. Killing cockroaches is cruel and futile, and that's when I stopped really hard and I'm like, wait, what? What does that mean? And then I
The
realized it's
cockroaches
the PETA
return.
website saying that you shouldn't kill
there
a
it is.
cockroach.
Problem solved.
Yeah, pretty much.
It looks like cockroaches exist just as a food source. They're an important part of the food chain, mostly just because they'll eat garbage and then they get eaten.
You know what? I respect that. Actually, we stand a good garbage eater out here.
Not me.
So I really
still
know
don't
so
like them.
much.
Wow.
I got no
Okay.
problem with them.
Got him, Jackson. I am loving these photos.
Thank you. But yeah, the trip was really fun. Did a lot of different stuff, went all over. A lot of different eating. Got not that much boba altogether, honestly.
Really?
I feel like it would be
Oh,
one of
I
those things
just
where I
thought
would
that's
expect to
farther.
get. I would expect to get a bunch of boba and then end up just like there's other things to be getting.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it's just everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
It's not a treat anymore.
yeah.
I want to talk about. Can we talk about this? It's like second to last, third from last. Second to last. This one that is like this really just gorgeous overlook over the city.
Yeah.
I don't think anything like that exists in the U.S. in anywhere that I've been.
Well, no, because it's tropical. Like, it's a jungle.
Yeah, and that is so cool. Like that
And
is
also,
so
we
rad.
accessed it via the public transit system from Taipei.
That's rad.
And this little gondola thing that we took, which you can see the pictures.
The little
in.
cable car.
Yeah.
Cable cars are very cool.
It was pretty cool. Yeah. And then you get up there, and then the picture next to it is like the same view with the tea. That was a tea that was grown on the mountain that we were drinking it on,
That's
awesome.
incredibly cool.
which was really fun.
Is that just like a little thing of warm milk, or is that also tea?
No, Mari got basically a large amount of warm milk with some tea in it.
Got it. Unlike the one time when she just got a large glass of milk with some milk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at one point we went to a restaurant for breakfast, and she ordered a large milk and did not say the tea part.
That's
I love
really
that so
funny,
much.
actually.
It's so funny. It's very unfortunate for her, but it is very funny to me.
as of most things in life, honestly. If I'm
Yeah,
being
and-
100.
And then she was like, I I'm gonna brush over the fact that you said if I'm being 100 and just respect it. And then I had to drink it because I didn't really want to, but she was like, "Well, I don't want to seem really rude and just have this like full glass of hot milk." She got it hot, by the way.
Oh my god! And they heard her say that and said, "Yeah, I'll allow it."
They're like, "All right, I guess."
Customers
So I got
always
like
right.
a coffee, and she got a large glass of just hot milk that she didn't want, and she's like, "I can't drink it."
And you're like, yeah, no, I don't want to drink it either.
She's like, there's like the one time where she's like, well, actually, I am lactose intolerant.
I can't believe she pulled the lactose intolerant card on you.
Yeah, notice the other picture with the giant carafe of milk that was all consumed with no problems. But when there's no tea in it, now it's, well, actually, I shouldn't be drinking milk.
Actually.
Well,
I mean,
you really
I've been
get
there.
into it.
So then I chugged like 70% of it just to make it so it looked like
yeah. Mhm.
there was an honest effort put in over the entire breakfast.
I do love the I may not want the thing that I'm about to eat, but I'm going to eat enough of it so that it looks like I at least tried and didn't just
I don't
order
want
an
them to be
entire
like,
plate
wow.
of food and didn't do anything with it.
And it's not like my reputation was on the line, I suppose, but I put up an effort.
It's nobody wants to be the guy who like orders a meal or something and just literally eats like 2 bites and moves on.
We also went to the place that inspired the bathhouse in Spirited Away.
Oh, rad.
Because apparently that's actually in Taipei, not in anywhere in Japan, like one might think. It's an old street, and I'm sending a whole bunch of pictures of food and me.
Jackson, can we get these in like a like an Imgur album that we can post with the episode so that people can
Yeah,
see what we're
probably.
talking about?
Yeah, because I definitely, I don't know how exactly I would go about putting the selection of photos into the video, and I don't want to do that level of work anyway.
That's true.
I don't feel. I
Wait,
don't know how.
Can you
and
put up
also I
Miley
don't want
Cyrus
to.
Eminem?
Miley Cyrus Eminem. I mean, Miley Cyrus Eminem lives in our hearts and our minds. So Miley Cyrus Eminem truly is always there.
Now, no. Actually, can you just have had this entire episode in the corner, just a very small Miley Cyrus Eminem?
At this point, it would be a very large Miley Cyrus Eminem,
It's
but I
been
understand what
slowly
you're saying.
growing the whole time.
The least amount of work in Premiere for the biggest effect.
Truly, honestly.
2 keyframes.
2 keyframes. You know, no, I'm gonna be funnier than that. 4 keyframes, because I'm also gonna do opacity.
So it'll slowly fade in as well.
Exactly. I'm nothing
Let
if
you
not
fade
a
out.
classy, incredibly talented video editor.
You know what? This might be one of the only episodes I watch. I prefer the video version of, just because that's very funny.
The tea house was really cool.
It looks amazing.
And then there's like the little back streets with all the red lanterns, and they turn them all on like at sunset.
I love this.
Oh, that's so
They
pretty.
got little soup dumplings.
I love
I got
soup
the
dumplings.
peanut ice cream roll where like the guy was like living his best life wearing a shirt that advertised the thing he was selling at the stand he was selling it at.
Oh yeah, I see that.
And then he made it on a plate that was labeled after it and then like wrapped it up and then was like, here you go. It's not like ice cream. It's ice. It's like the stuff in the middle is like a peanut ice. It's like like a shaved ice almost. And then they wrap it up in like some rice paper with a whole bunch of crushed peanuts. That it's like they have this giant block of peanut brittle basically, and they like, grind off of it to like get like powder, like
I love
dust.
that.
And they throw some cilantro on there and they roll it up.
Cilantro feels like a weird choice, but I do respect it very much.
Frankly, hilarious.
Then I also got a skewer of 6 quail eggs. And if you ever want to feel just like decadent, just eat multiple eggs.
No, I actually 100% back this. Yeah, no, that is. You feel powerful in a way
To
that
just trivialize the 6 quail eggs on a stick. This guy in front of me got 3 of them.
3
Got
different
18 quail
I would
eggs.
say that's so many eggs. All those. How many quail had to die for this man to eat?
None, actually.
Oh, so many. Oh, never
Well,
mind.
how many potential? Sorry, you're right. How many potential quail had to die for this man to eat?
A damn political take episode.
I was gonna say I believe quail life begins in conception. Clearly,
Well, just quails, though.
just quails, not humans. That would be fucking ridiculous. Are you insane?
Yeah, human life begins at 8.
8.
Eight
Jeez,
in the
I'd say
morning.
like 10.
You know, I'm not that progressive, I guess.
Human life begins at 8 in the morning and ends at 8 o'clock at night. And any time after that, you're fine.
My life begins when the party start.
Where to
Which
party?
also doesn't start till you walk in, if memory serves.
Then I also
Damn, I got no sold on that so
Yeah, you got
hard.
no
That's
sold on
fine.
that.
Sorry, I was
That's
looking at the
fine.
pictures I had sent to see what I hadn't talked about.
God. I just got fucking annihilated here. No big deal.
Doesn't feel good, does it? Curious.
I know how it feels.
Yeah, now you do.
I've always known how it felt.
You think that was the first time Noah's gotten no sold on a joke?
I did. This is actually, we've never sold Noah before.
You met his family?
I get no sold like on a daily basis.
Yeah, but
Nina's in the corner saying no at least 10 times a day.
I like the idea that Nina's like, because I assume this is exactly what it is that Nina's like writing or drawing something, and hears you say something completely out of pocket and goes and just no on the other side of the room, and then goes back to what she's doing.
Sometimes she'll just look at me and make a face, and I'm like, hey, shut up.
Don't be a nerd.
Me when Noah tries to sell a joke. Actually, I will not be buying that.
No, thank you. Have a nice day.
We got these little taro ball soups, which you might notice as like the little orange squimble and the little mucus white blob.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
That's a taro ball soup.
You did just say that, huh?
It's just like they take the taro and they mix it with some kind of like, they make it into like a little pasta ball kind of situation.
That sounds pretty
And
tasty.
it's in like it's basically in sugar water with some like red beans and other like sweet beans. And you just like eat it. It's pretty good.
That sounds pretty rad, actually, yeah.
Then some soup dumplings and then some shrimp balls. And I found out also I am a fan of Taiwanese style kimchi.
Really?
Interesting.
Because it's just, you don't say this, but it's like 80% sauerkraut.
Ooh.
They call it golden kimchi.
I mean, I do love sauerkraut. This is an
Yeah, me
incredibly
too.
well-established fact.
I think literally you tweeted about it like yesterday.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, of
because I was
course.
hanging out with some people, and one of them said, "Oh yes, white people kimchi." When I was talking about getting sauerkraut,
I mean, they're right.
and I'm like, no, I don't know. That's not the point, Dan. They can be correct that it is just white people kimchi, but it's not just
it's the way
white
they
people
said it.
kimchi.
It's the,
don't be
it's the
dismissive about it.
implication. Yeah. See, I would say white people kimchi complimentary.
We brought a great thing to the world. It's white people kimchi.
Yeah, we can have this one. We're allowed.
Yeah, Taiwanese style sauerkraut is like just like bigger slices of cabbage, but they're like kimchi is basically just like larger slices of cabbage, like a traditional kimchi, but basically just with a brine, so it's more of a sauerkraut.
That's
like
rad.
in flavor and color. It's really good.
That sounds extremely tasty, to be honest.
Or what else did we get up to? We went and saw Taipei 101, which is the third largest building in the world.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was the largest when it was built, but it's been like 15, 20 years, so. Went to the zoo, went up on this thing called went to a fishing wharf.
Ooh.
And basically took the transit, the MRT everywhere.
Well, yeah, because it's a non-U.S. country, so it's public transit actually like.
It's rad as hell.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can cross the city of Taipei in like half an hour.
God, I hate the U.S. sometimes.
You can go anywhere, and like the trains arrive every few minutes. They are incredibly clean, and they go very fast. Everyone's like real respectful on them. Most people are pretty quiet. Some people will talk, except for like one of my first times taking the MRT. This guy was speaking. He was having a phone call on speaker on an iPad.
Oh God.
That's just
And he was
rude.
like, yeah, and like we were just looking at him like, what is this guy doing?
Sir.
But that was a very much an exception.
Yeah, that's a weird thing to be doing.
That's a weird thing to be doing anywhere in the world.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
like that at all.
Yeah, that's big New York subway energy.
Yeah, and like the subway there is very nice. It's only got 6 lines, but they are all working in like a really nice tandem, and all the stations connect to each other, so you can get from like any one stop to any one stop without having to go outside.
That's nice. Jackson,
And a lot of them have little mini malls in them.
You know, I will say actually, at least in New York, that is becoming more and more common.
Little mini malls in the
yeah.
subway stops.
Yeah, having like little, especially for basically any subway stop that's new at this point. Any subway stop that's like that isn't like, oh, this has been around since like whenever the subway system went in for New York, whatever. Almost all of them will have like essentially like a mini mall. Philly was doing a lot of the same thing, if I remember correctly.
That's fun.
Good ideas. Like,
Yeah, it's just nice to have like a little shopping center, a place to get a little mini food court kind of situation.
little snicky snack.
Yeah, because you can't eat on like the MRT at all, but like people can bring food on it all the time.
Yeah.
And people will regularly like bring food and drinks with them on, and then just not eat or drink.
Is it just not allowed?
Yeah, it's not allowed.
Good.
Not even to drink, huh?
No, not even to
because I
drink.
understand the concept of not being allowed to drink on it. Because, I would say it's just a mess waiting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like, who are you going to report the mess to? Because by the time you report it, the train's already gone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It'll get to the end of the day, and then it's just like, that's it. They'll hose it out.
Just like a sticky mess on the floor.
Ew.
Well, all the cars are really clean. Before we left, they started putting in a whole bunch of Pokemon ones for New Year's.
I love that.
Nice.
They have a lot of themed cars.
Well, you get a little bit of that for some buses in New York, but not that many.
All the buses are giant ads for like different mobile games. Every bus, without fail, is got like "Play Arknights" on the side of it, or like
in the U.S. or
download. No, in Taiwan. Every single
okay.
bus is like, "Please play this new mobile game."
This bus brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends.
Literally.
I mean, I'm kind of here for that though.
No, it's obnoxious.
See, it's obnoxious, but I would rather see that than see like a bus that has a big smiling guy that's advertising colon cream.
Or
hey,
law, or,
what's wrong with that? People not allowed to need a product?
Or like a law office of like, hey, have you been in an accident? Call us. The law and law.
Did you know you have rights?
Constitution says you do.
So do I.
So do I. We also went to the place that invented boba.
Oh, that's
Really?
cool.
And to Sun Moon Lake, which is like a big lake in the center of the country. I got the large at the boba inventing place, and it was a lot.
I was like, how was it compared to an American large?
It was like, you'll see in the picture.
Oh my.
It was like the medium was like a quart.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
And the large was like a 2-liter. It was really, really big. And it was like $4.
Oh my god.
That very quickly enters into like, I will not be finishing this today. Thank you.
I thought it was going to break me, but I survived.
You thought it was going to break you, but instead you broke it.
Yeah. Yeah, we went to a lot of different really fun things. We went to a Taiwanese steakhouse a couple times,
Nice.
which goes so hard because they serve it on sizzle plates. Anytime,
what the fuck's a sizzle plate?
like a fajita plate, like fajitas.
Yeah, I had a fajita. I don't know what a fajita plate is though.
Like the plate that they bring that sizzles.
The sizzle.
The cast iron plate that they serve fajitas on.
I think perhaps my fajita experience and yours were not the same.
Oh man, you gotta get some top tier fajitas. They're
That sounds amazing.
Traditionally they serve them like these cast iron. Here, I'll send some of the pictures. But they served in these hot cast iron pans, and usually there's like just the meat on there and it sizzles, and like people bring it out to your table. That's like how you usually get fajitas, where like everything's still kind of cooking a little bit.
Damn,
And you want to make sure not to touch it because you will be severely hurt.
Yeah. But at Taiwanese steakhouses, they use like a similar plate to the fajita plate. So they bring it out on like a little sizzling plate, and then you got like the pork chops is what I got. Because I was a big fan of the pork in Taiwan. Because you'll find pretty quick that they have some cattle there, I'm sure, but most every time you see meat, it'll say where it's from, like what country it's from, and most of the time the meat, like the beef, is from the U.S. Just because it's like literally a tropical jungle. It's not that temperate, and it's not really good for raising cattle.
Yeah.
So a lot of times the meat will come from the U.S. Sometimes you'll get beef from like Japan, but yeah, largely it's U.S. beef. So I didn't find it that exciting or interesting or different, but most of the pork was from Taiwan, and it was really good.
That's rad.
And it was also always cheaper. Like the pork is really cheap as an option there.
That sounds like it's honestly you're selling this very well, Jackson. I got to be honest.
Yeah,
with you.
it's fun. Like the steakhouse, like the pictures you'll see with the sizzle plate, you get unlimited corn soup, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's like a corn chowder. Like it's just like a thick soup made with corn with like some ham and egg in it. It's just good soup. And you get like unlimited corn soup and then unlimited little drinks. And I think it was 160 NTD for the pork chops, which it's about 30-1, so a little over $5
Jesus Christ
for like the pork chop dinner. And like the average wage there is about $150 an hour, so 150 NTD. So for about an hour at the minimum wage, you can get, or not the minimum, the average wage, you can get like the steakhouse dinner.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That seems so rad.
We also went to a hot springs in the mountain.
Ooh.
Which I'm, I don't know how I'm going to talk about it on the podcast, but I'm a noted bath lover.
Mm-hmm. You have talked about this on the podcast.
I'm a big fan of the bath.
You're a little bath boy.
A big bath boy. And we went to this like old hot springs and sending some pictures. It's also got this like rare mineral there that is only found in this specific hot spring because of the sulfur content, and then also in another hot spring in like rural Japan. I think it said. It has a little plaque. And sometimes it's hard to parse what it's saying because oftentimes they're translated but not super well.
I love this picture of you with a bowl on your head.
That's like the best photo, just hanging out in the hot spring.
That photo has power that I don't think I'll ever be able to match.
It's moisturized, unbothered.
I don't know if this makes sense, but it has huge Snorlax energy.
It does, actually. No, I 100% agree. I was trying to think of what.
I think it's especially because of the fact that it's in the water, so like
you look kind of squatty.
The light refracts, so I look like really wide.
Yeah, and there's like a very
wide.
I don't know if you're squatting, but it looks like you're doing a real big squat.
Yeah, I was sitting down, but like because of the angle and because of like the refraction in the water, I look way wider and way shorter.
I was gonna say it actually kind of had like sumo energy, and I don't know.
No, I think that's not wrong. Like, I think if you were to ask an artist to draw me and then show them only this picture, I think they would draw a very funny looking little man. Like I think they would draw every single sci-fi dwarf of all time. Like every single like dwarf character, that's what they would draw. Because I look very wide and very short.
I like Wide Jackson, to be honest with you. My new Babe Wake Up New Lord just dropped.
Wide Jackson just dropped today. Brand new.
Guardian of the Hot Springs. Also the fact that Snorlax is also featured very recently in the images I sent.
Yeah, that definitely helps. Helps
sell the egg there at the bottom is a hot spring egg, which they cook in the hot spring waters. So it's like cooked in the sulfur water. Is pretty good.
Assume not the same water that the people are in.
Oh, you can't go in the hot spring because you will die.
Okay.
Like immediately.
I apologize for my assumption. I saw you in
no, that was in like a hotel. Not so like we rented like a hotel room, not like a. It's kind of strange. So it's not actually like a hotel room like you'd normally think with like a bed and a bathroom and everything. You can literally just rent a bath.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that makes sense.
So we paid like however much, probably like it was a little expensive. It's probably like 30, 40 US, and then like you get like 2 hours in this like private hot spring bath.
That's rad. I'm here for it.
So yeah, there's like a shower, there's a cold tub, and there's like a hot tub.
That is rad. I would actually unironically pay for that.
Yeah, it was really, really nice. And then afterwards you get like a snack. So we went to like this little cafe and they give you like a little free cake and coffee. It was fun. Yeah, the hot spring itself was really fun, and the hot spring eggs were cool. It's in like an old district, and you can see where like the Japanese like colonialism influences are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like what was used by like the Japanese as bathhouses is now like little museums.
Makes sense.
We also went to the National Palace Museum of Taiwan, which is like this big ass, used to be literally a palace, and is now somewhere you can visit and take photos. And they've got cool things like this one piece of banded jasper that looks like a pork belly, which you will see in a moment. It's a mineral that just looks like a pork belly.
Damn, it sure do be looking like pork belly.
Wow.
That sure do be looking like a snack.
I would eat that if
I would eat that rock.
If it wasn't a rock.
No, I might eat even though it's a rock.
I just think it's really funny that someone found
pork belly rock.
Also, the only picture that you can actually like see the palace well and centered has me in it looking directly into the sun and trying not to die.
Yeah, you do be having the I'm looking at the sun smirk going on.
Mm-hmm. That's just I'm really just trying to get away. And like
that's the face of a man who's about to drop the worst political take of the last 30 years and then log off and ignore everyone else.
Yeah, well, sunglasses on, making a vent video in the truck. My problem I have these days is
I'm sick and tired of all these.
Yeah, it was a really, really good trip. There's some temples all around that are super cool. I got this giant piece of fried chicken.
From the temple?
No, from a little stand next to it.
Damn. I got really excited. I got that temple chicken.
We just kind of went all over to like different little areas.
That's so rad.
But mostly in Taipei. We went to a concert on Christmas Eve that was super cool. It was like so I just sent some pictures of one of the first picture is the temple right by Mari's house that has a little night market by it.
Ooh.
And it's it's like massive and cool.
Yeah, that is gorgeous.
Yeah, that is really, 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 really pretty.
Yeah, there's a bunch of those.
So
big flat chunk of chicken.
If I'm
big chicken. I was drunk when I got the big chicken.
Okay, so that says Hot Star, but I swear to God, I read Houston, Texas, and I'm like, what the fuck?
It's because of the XXL underneath it.
No, I was looking at the sideways one.
On my last night there, we drank like a lot of like soju, and I drank some different like Taiwanese beers, and then went out to get the big fried chicken.
You got big chicken. Question, and this is a purely I don't know the cultural differences. The sense I've always gotten is that temples in these cultures are very different from like what we in the US would associate with like a temple and temple culture.
I mean, especially here, yes, in Taiwan, but I think it's also not the thing people assume, because I think a lot of people would be like, oh, what are they, like Buddhist or something? But they're just like it's just like a Formosan like folk religion for the most part. So I'm not 100% sure on it, because most of like Mari's friends are either international or kind of more rural. Okay. The one that does and a lot of her Taiwanese friends are actually like Christians, so they are like, yeah, we don't really go to or know much about the temples.
Interesting.
So like I'm not 100% like I didn't get like a good source to like let me know what it's all about. But
still very cool.
The gist I got is that for most people, it's something that they don't have like truly like vested personal interest in, like belief, but rather it's like a cultural thing that is important, but it's not like the nuances and the minutia of it are actively like worshipped in the way that like Western worship is. It's more of a, hey, it's almost the new year, let's go burn some incense at the temple my grandpa used to go to. That's
very cool, actually.
That's how a lot of it is. And again, that's not the case for everybody. But that's what I've largely heard.
I am very much a fan of secular religious practice.
It's a weird way to phrase that, but I understand exactly what you mean.
That's what it is, like it's something that you do out of tradition, not exactly out of like religious obligation. It's just like, that's what we do. There's
a lot more of that.
That's awesome
over there.
That's very, 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 very cool.
I got like a lot of food because Mari doesn't have a kitchen. Most people don't really have like kitchens.
Oh, really?
Because like family homes do, but most people just go out to eat because like there's
it's cheap
within like 2 minutes of Mari's house, just walking, no train or anything. There's like 3 different breakfast places that are all pretty good, and most of the things there cost $1 or less. You can just get like both of us would eat breakfast for like $4 US.
So why would you even bother like trying to cook?
Got a bunch of different stuff that's really good. We got conveyor belt sushi.
Oh, sick! I've always wanted to do this.
It was fun. Mari was like poking around on the machine and being like, you can order things on this. And I was like, that's all right, I'll just grab off the conveyor belt. And she was like poking at it a little bit more and then accidentally ordered like the most expensive thing.
I love that.
Which was like, you will see is like the very intricate looking ice cream sundae with a bunch of popcorn on it on a giant popcorn.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love that.
Won't lie, it looks amazing.
Yeah, the food's really good. The biggest thing I noticed that like threw me off is they don't use black pepper that much. They use like different kinds of peppercorns.
Interesting.
Huh.
Like they called it green pepper.
Yeah, I've seen green pepper.
But not like, it's just like I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, like they use a lot of green peppercorns.
Interesting. I've never heard of green pepper. I know white pepper and I know black pepper.
There's also pink peppercorns in there too. You can at the grocery store, you can usually get the multicolored peppercorn grinder, which will have white, green, pink, and black. They all have slightly different flavors to them, but you wouldn't tend to know that if you're getting in the combo pack.
I could very much notice the green pepper, and I don't like it as much as black pepper. Really? I don't dislike it, but I like everything was white, like table salt and green pepper were like the things you would get on like as like a dusting.
I gotta be honest, black pepper is a hugely goated ingredient for me that I've only truly begun to appreciate in the last couple years of grinding it fresh and putting in too much every now and then.
You know what?
I love it.
Yeah, I would also agree. Actually, I feel like when you're young, you don't appreciate at all.
There's something about
I'm
like
a big black pepper head.
A black pepper gravy on a chicken fried steak.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's like the best thing at the steakhouses. They have like a big bowl of like black peppercorns, like coarse ground black peppercorns for the corn soup. You get like a big bowl of corn soup, put like a spoonful of black peppercorns in there and some hot sauce. It's so good.
Fantastic. And
it's all you can eat, so you can just keep getting more of it.
On the subject of eating out majority of the time, that's one of the things that I've always found interesting. How dare you?
DJ Khaled.
About when I hear about people like visiting over there is that like it's just cheaper and easier to eat out all the time because it's just, you know, like most people, if they have something, it's like a hot plate setup and a rice cooker, you know, like nothing huge, just a quick snack thing.
I mean, you can do a lot with a hot plate and a rice cooker, but I get what you're saying.
You definitely can, but you're not like set up with like a full like functional kitchen, so to speak.
Yeah, it's just a lot easier to just go
5 seconds
across
away
the street and spend next to no money on like breakfast, and then that place will be open at lunch, and then there's 10 spots that are within like a 5-minute walk between Mari's apartment and the MRT station that like have a ton of other stuff. So there's just like a large amount of options.
I wonder.
And we did go all over and stop at different places, but yeah, it was like a lot of fun.
I wonder why that is. Like, I wonder why that is like a major cultural difference of like eating out versus not eating out, and like the cost associated with it. Because like obviously in the U.S., yeah, you could go get breakfast for a couple bucks, but like it's gonna be Mickey D's and it's gonna fucking suck.
Yeah, exactly. There's such a stronghold on the market of like if you want cheap food, you're not eating good food. But there you can literally get cheap food that is very good.
Here and there, like, you'll find a place in like that you can get cheap, good food in the U.S., but it's
some
very
weird
common.
hole in the wall mom and pop shop that will die within 6 years because no one else is willing to take it up.
Exactly,
and it's 40 minutes away from me.
Yeah,
at least.
Yeah,
and like in that point, like having to get in the car and drive 40 minutes using at least a gallon of gas, you're just adding on to the expenses. When the grocery store is 5 minutes from me.
Yeah. There's a whole like conversation there about like walkable cities and like how the U.S. has completely failed at them. Oh yeah,
but yeah, Taipei was really nice, and I had a great time. I was there for a little over 2 weeks.
It looks amazing. I'm not gonna lie. I am very envious of your trip, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was definitely a really cool experience. I got a lot from it.
And you're never going back.
There's a lot of cultural differences. And as a result, I'm never going back.
I've gotten everything I need from these people.
Thanks, I'm good now. There's also this park that was like super cool that we went to. I'll see if I can find a picture of it. That had like a half-mile long walk of these massive slides that were built into the hill for kids.
That's rad.
So like all these cool like slides and jungle gyms and like different stuff.
That's awesome.
And yeah, they were all like, as a kid, they would have been dream come true. So many different like play areas, and they just kept going and going and going for like half a mile down this entire huge bank.
That's so rad.
Like, man, that would never fly in the U.S. because we would.
Some kid would bust their ass, and that would be it.
The kid would bust their ass, and the problem is that they would get like sued insanely for it. And the thing is, in Taiwan, people will just like, if your kid falls, I would just like call the ambulance. It doesn't cost any money.
I mean, that's fair. I never made that association, but I do wonder if there's a connection point there.
Oh, 100%. And most Americans are very like litigious and very like lawsuit happy because it's like one of the only ways you can actually protect yourself from going bankrupt if you get hurt.
Yeah.
I never made that connection, but yeah, of course. Huh.
Whereas there, if your kid gets hurt, you'd be like, "Yeah, you dumbass. Let's take you to the hospital."
Yeah. Yeah, because it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And your kid will be like, "Well, I'm not going to do that again, not because of the financial damage, but because it hurt my arm."
Because it sucked, actually.
Yeah, it was a really cool playground and a fun park. We kind of biked around it. Saw some people fishing.
That's very pretty.
I mean, obviously, there's like a lot of problems and there's like a good bit of poverty, but it doesn't manifest itself in the same way that poverty in the US does.
Yeah, I mean, I would also assume that like as a visitor, it's not going to be something that you're going to see as much either. Just like
Yeah, but we weren't like in like a hotel or in like a 400 district or a city center. We were kind
but
of
still, it's. I feel like I don't know, like personal experience only when I'm visiting. Like even if I'm like when I went to New York for the very first time, like it just even though obviously New York has an unimaginable poverty crisis, like it isn't something that I would have necessarily noticed just because like I had other things going on. And I'm not saying, oh, Jackson, you just weren't paying attention.
No, I think there's a lot of the poverty is in more rural areas is definitely a thing. Mm-hmm. And then there's not the same, even though there is like a large problem with people being like destitute, it doesn't manifest itself in a housing crisis the way it does in the US. I believe, so like if you're poor, you're not thrown out on the streets as a result of it as frequently.
You're just poor.
And like as an American, you would probably like go through the city and be like, "Oh, that building is like super sketchy. There's no way that thing is like safe or up to code." And like, yeah, probably not. But like a lot of the people with Taiwan are more concerned with like, well, what are we gonna do? Get rid of 100 people's houses? And like they're not paying that much. And sure, it's not a great position, but they at least have somewhere to be.
Yeah, it is a home.
And it's like they're like okay with buildings being kind of unsightly in communities if it means that people don't have to be on the street.
That's awesome.
Which does lead to some pretty sketchy looking buildings. But I'm not a hater.
No, no reason to. Rather that than like a massive corporation buy it up and replace it with quote unquote luxury apartments.
Yeah, the people who are living there now couldn't afford.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a really nice country. It's a really cool spot. The people are all really nice, very chill. Not a lot of like, even though it is a major city, people aren't like rushing around and being like crazy. And they're not as like, a lot of people don't necessarily like dress to impress all the time. They're just like chilling.
It sounds amazing.
So it's pretty cool. And you can just go to like different like 7-Elevens, and they're like really like nice 7-Elevens. They got Family Mart, which I prefer Family Mart to 7-Eleven. But
I don't know the difference, but I will trust your take.
About to look it
the
up.
real one's like Family Mart. Mari's like 7-Eleven.
Looks like they're
Family Mart
primarily Canada near us.
Family Mart for the real ones, because they got the special, the One Piece branded canned coffee they didn't have at 7-Eleven.
And really, why else would you go to Sev?
And I went and got my when I bought the Wolf beer, they didn't have that at 7-Eleven, but they had it. I think they might have had it at 7-Eleven, but they didn't at the 7-Eleven I was at. Yeah, I got a ton of One Piece branded stuff. That was like a large portion of my trip was just buying different One Piece things. I bought a One Piece tackle box in Tokyo.
That's rad.
Yeah, what a specific thing.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Off the Air. During our recording and catching up with Jackson from his trip, we recorded an episode that was approximately 2 hours and 27 minutes. Rather than greet you with one gigantic episode, as the first episode of the new year, we decided to make our own lives easier and split it into 2 episodes. We hope you enjoyed part 1 of Jackson Takes a Trip, and we invite you to come back next week for part 2 of this wonderful extravaganza of an episode.